it's a weird, if we like something.
Mayor Panko? Well, I just talked to her. Mayor Panko, we're live.
We are live
We're
now?
live.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of Smiths Falls Town Council for Tuesday, February 20th. I'll open the meeting with our land acknowledgement. On February 20th, 2024, we acknowledge that the sacred land in which Smiths Falls is now located has been a site of human activity for over 10,000 years and has rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smiths Falls. We're mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. I will call the meeting to order. I'll ask for an approval of the agenda. Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that the February 20th, 2024 regular council meeting agenda be approved as circulated.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that the February 20th, 2024 regular council meeting agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I ask for disclosure of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest and general nature thereof. Councillor Miller.
Thank you. I need to declare a conflict on item 10.2 as my employer has applied for a community grant.
Okay, so noted. Anyone else? None. Okay. We also have approval of minutes with Councillor Quinn, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that the minutes of February 5th, 2024 council meeting be approved as circulated.
Thank you. It was moved by Councillor Quinn, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that the minutes of the February 5th, 2024 council meeting be approved as circulated. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Council reports, updates, and announcements. I'm just going to, at this moment, I want to recognize a new Director of Corporate Services, Paul Dalber's here, and I'm going to give CEO Morris an opportunity to introduce you.
Great, thank you, Your Worship. So absolutely delighted to introduce Mr. Paul Dauber. He's our new Director of Corporate Services and Treasury. He started earlier today, and we're absolutely delighted to have him on board. So our interim treasurer has been spent most of the day with him and orienting him, and so we got off to a strong start. We had a management meeting this morning, so he was able to participate in that, and as luck would have it, he's able to be here with us this evening at this meeting. So you'll hear lots more from Mr. Dauber as time goes on, but we're delighted to have him here and part of our management team.
Excellent. Well, on behalf of council, welcome. Great to have you here. And I guess other reports, Councillor Robinson?
Thank you. I've got a short report. On Monday, January 22nd, Councillor Miller and myself attended a learning lunch at the Roma conference, which was hosted by MPAC. During this event, there were presentations from a couple of speakers who were representing the organization. They acknowledged that since there's been no update to property assessments since 2016, municipalities are suffering as a result, and that the pause is causing confusion for both residents and municipal officials. One of the largest concerns that they noted is the fear of escalating costs when the new assessments are finally implemented. They want to reassure everyone this is a myth. MPAC is committed to fairness, affordability, and they are also concerned about how this affects the business community. They said the delay is due to the government reevaluating the assessment review process, and that they hope to get results soon. It was also noted that many experts think that reassessment should be occurring every year in order to keep assessed values current. And that's my report.
Thank you. Councillor Quinn, you report as well.
Thank you, Your Worship. On February the 8th, I attended a climate control meeting in Lanark County, and lots of good information coming out of that. Susan Brandon was there via Zoom, and there is a meeting on May the 18th about electric producing for the future. Could be quite interesting from what she was telling us. So, you know, we're moving into all these new realms. It's good to be brought up to date on what's going on. February the 17th, I was very pleased to represent the town of Smiths Falls at the Chinese New Year, and it's the year of the wooden dragon. Very interesting, very entertaining, such lovely people there, great food, all kinds of food, and great entertainment. Such a happy event. It was lovely. So I was very pleased to be the one there representing the town. And today I had a real meeting, and some of the things that we discussed were the advantages of the biochar that was presented by Nate Morse. Really interesting. Going to get more information on that for sure. The mini forest, they're in the process of ordering the trees for the mini forest. And the butterfly garden, they're ordering plants for that and the community garden. So things are starting to come along and make us feel that spring's coming. And those are my reports. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councillor Brennan, you have a report?
I do. I just wanted to let everyone know that last Wednesday, February 14th, I participated in a meeting of the newly reconvened Hall of Fame Committee, Recreation Hall of Fame Committee in Smith Falls. And the committee is raring to go. And I wanted to let everyone know, mark your calendars for June 23rd, which will be the day of the inductions of our new inductees into the Recreation Hall of Fame. The committee is also working with the Heritage House for a new feature would be places in Smith Falls with recreational significance. So that's going to be part of it as well. So I just want to let everybody know, and in the weeks to come, I'll be dropping some names that they've included in this year's inductees, and people are of course welcome to forward names as well for future ceremonies. But June 23rd will be the day. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Worship. Welcome back. Council will bear with me. I have a medium-sized report. Just there's a lot going on some of the files. One is the Public Health Unit report. We continue to have discussions regarding mergers, potential mergers, and we're working on the feasibility study with our 2 health units to the west. And in the past 4 weeks, I've had 12 distinct public health unit meetings, 3 of which were full day meetings. So it's been a very active file. But one of the things I picked up and I thought I'd share along the way was it's about, and I think Councillor Quinn referred to this, there's a lot happening. And it's a take. There's those that are going to make things happen. There are those that watch things happen. And then there are those that wondered what happened. So I like to think that we're making things happen, both here and at Public Health. The second report is regarding Lanark County Social Services and Corporate Services. And as you know, the bill for those shared services was $2.8 million. We're budgeting for 2024. Very expensive. And tonight we're also going to look at, under the consent paper, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario asking for a review of the funding model for municipalities with the province of Ontario. And I know, I think at all levels of government, we like to point fingers sometimes at whose job it is to fund things. But I do want to report on some federal and provincial funding that our municipality in Lanark County is benefiting from. I believe credit is due when it happens. I'll start with it's called the Canada-Ontario Community Housing Initiative for 2024. And the county at council last week, we approved out of that budget over $630,000 for heating retrofit projects, and it's funded as well by CMHC. So what we're doing is, I think the numbers are like it's 149 units are going to be upgraded with their heating. Many of them are familiar to us: Cars Avenue, Burke Street, Jasper Avenue, Empress Avenue, Sussex. And one in particular, the Burke Street, is going to get ground source heat pump installed. So they're going to spend over $1 million on upgrading the social housing units in Lanark County, many of them in Smith Falls. This has 2 benefits that we're interested in. One is our climate action work group here at the town will want to be tracking the changes on our carbon footprint because of that. The other is, in particular on Burke Street, it's a large apartment building with no air conditioning. So in the climate change and in some of these terrible heat waves we get, it is literally killing people in Canada who don't have any relief from the heat. So, and as well as it'll reduce the costs of our heating and overall operating costs for all of our public housing. So that money we're putting in, this is federal provincial money that's paying for that. So that was a very good news story. And the other one was just that there's an initiative underway, and I sent council a brief update on it, to start a new program operated by Lanark Mental Health. It's not a done deal yet, but it was approved last week at the Social Services Committee of County, and where 11 people will be invited from the by names list. So there's 61 people identified with a name that we know of in Lanark County and Smiths Falls who are homeless. There's more than that, but these are people that we can identify. So 11 of those will be invited to participate in this program, and it will take an investment again from the county and Lanark Mental Health, and allied partners are going to be offering service to that population. So from my point of view, there's some provincial and federal money being put to good use, investing in our community. Finally, the 2023 Lanark County Paramedics Report was filed last week. Interestingly, and good news again from our provincial government, trying to find the right word, is that the community paramedic program that we're all aware of, an excellent program, has received secure funding for the next 3 years. They were going year by year. So this really allows that program to stabilize. And last year, 338 individuals were enrolled in that program. And they're not saying that it was a direct correlation, but from 2022 to 2023, the number of paramedic dispatch calls dropped by almost 2,500. So calls are going down for ambulance and dispatches while our paramedic services are going up. There isn't a direct correlation yet, or there might be a correlation, but there isn't any evidence to suggest, but it's good news. It's very good news. So again, that's your federal, provincial dollars at work with local investment from Smiths Falls of $2.8 million next year. That's my report, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Councillor McKenna? No? Okay. These are great updates for the county. I mean, I regret missing in many ways. Okay, I've got one proclamation today regarding Pink Shirt Day, February 28, 2024. Whereas Pink Shirt Day is observed annually on the last Wednesday of February to raise awareness of anti-bullying efforts while calling attention to the prevalence of bullying in our communities. Whereas Pink Shirt Day was inspired by 2 high school students in Nova Scotia who distributed pink shirts at their school as a show of support for another student who was being bullied for wearing a pink shirt. Whereas today, Pink Shirt Day has become a global anti-bullying movement, it reminds us that a simple act of kindness can lead to change on a larger scale. Whereas the town of Smiths Falls is committed to fostering community safety and well-being for all residents through the promotion of anti-bullying campaigns and by collectively coming together to denounce bullying in all its forms, we can bring bullying to an end. Now therefore be resolved that I, Mayor Sean Panko, do hereby proclaim February 28, 2024 as Pink Shirt Day in the town of Smiths Falls. And in addition to that, the Smiths Falls for All Committee has been discussing the placement of a pink anti-bullying bench for our community, and the plan at this stage and working with staff is to put it at the corner here by our Pride crosswalk. So it stands out as a symbol against bullying, also really a safe place for people to come have conversations and I guess acknowledgement we're trying to do what we can to help stop bullying in our community. Moving forward with our agenda, our consent agenda, and I don't have the motion for who's.
Oh, my apologies. I need a mover and seconder.
Okay, I need a mover, Councillor Miller, seconder, Councillor Robinson, that the items in the consent report number 03/2024 received from the clerk be received and adopted. Would anyone like to pull any item out of the consent agenda for further discussion? See none, Clerk Costello?
Thank you. There's 3 bylaws on this evening's consent agenda. One, to rescind the local improvement charge for Maple Ridge subdivision phase 2. The second, regarding the updated downtown core design guidelines, to adopt those, and as well a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Smiths Falls and District Chamber of Commerce. We also have multiple resolutions this evening. One, to receive the compensation review final report. The second, to receive the 2022 consolidated financial statements that were presented to all of you last week by KPMG. The funding application to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities for the biochar. And then we have 2 rather lengthy ones. The first is the call to action with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario for their position paper entitled Social and Economic Prosperity Review. And the second regarding an amendment to the Legislation Act 2006. And the final resolution is to authorize 3 members of council to attend out of province conference, Federation of Municipalities of Ontario, which is being held in Alberta.
Thank you. Everyone's comfortable moving ahead with the consent agenda. So it's by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that the items in the consent agenda report number 03/2024 received from the clerk, received and adopted. All in favor? That's carried. I say it's probably the first time we probably saved about half an hour of our time tonight with the consent agenda process. So that's very encouraging. Thank you. Okay, we also have the third reading of our budget with Councillor Miller.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to adopt estimates of the sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2024 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10526-2024.
Thank you. And any final discussion on that, Councillor Miller?
I do, yeah. So this is the third and final reading of the 2024 budget for our town of Smiths Falls. It's a really important piece of work because it focuses our strategic priorities for infrastructure projects, key upgrades to our beautiful parks, special projects, and so much more. It's a very difficult task, and we've been at it since December, but there's always more we need to do than we can afford in a year. So we've worked hard to focus on our core priorities while maintaining a modest tax increase to offset the rising costs and the inflation that we're all experiencing. I'd like to thank CAO Morris, the interim treasurer, Stephen Dickey, and all senior staff who worked with us to map out such an impressive and ambitious year of work, guided by a responsible budget for 2024.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Yes, Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Now that we have a new director, Director Dauber, with us, and in the next month or so, I'll be bringing a suggestion to my colleagues here at Council about reviewing our process for establishing the budget and the public engagement part of it, just to do a dust off on how we do it and can we improve on it. And I'm sure Director Dauber will bring some new ideas in. Our previous process was fine. It did it, but I found, in my opinion, there were some areas we could improve on. And I would like to, if council agrees that a cow in the near future, I'll ask to put that on the agenda and we could have a conversation and get started, not late next year, but in the relatively near future. I just wanted to flag that.
Okay.
I'll bring that forward.
Thank you. Anything further? Oh, Councillor Brennan, I keep forgetting you're out there, somewhere.
Up there. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for that, Councillor McKenna. I'm happy to discuss how we do the budget over. It wasn't an easy budget to do. And I think that if you look at the comparators that we were given, we're probably doing very good in our area comparatively to municipalities our size. So I'm happy to have a discussion about how to do it, and maybe in a bit more detail. But thank you to Interim Treasurer Dickey for his work and CO Morris for his guidance. But I think it's a fair budget for everybody, and I'm going to be happy to support it. And I would ask we should have a recorded vote, I think, on this one, the third reading.
Okay, anything further? Okay, it's moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to adopt estimate of sums required for municipal purposes for the year 2024 be added a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10526-2024. Recorded vote has been requested. Clerk Costello.
Mayor Penko. If council members could please respond with yay or nay regarding bylaw 10526-2024. Councillor Brennan,
Yay.
Councillor Quinn,
Yay.
Councillor Miller,
Yay.
Councillor McKenna,
Yay.
Councillor Robinson,
Yay.
Councillor McGuire,
Yay.
Mayor Penko.
Yay.
Carried.
Thank you. Councillor McKenna, you have our next bylaw.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize execution of funding agreements with recipients of the 2024 municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It is moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize execution of funding agreements with recipients of the 2024 municipal grant funding be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Discussion, Councillor McKenna?
Yes, the municipality's been involved for many years in supporting local community groups with modest grants. And I think council sets aside about 1% of the budget for that purpose. That doesn't include the grant we provide to the Perth Smith Falls Hospital. So these grants, we get always more groups requesting funding than we're able to fund. However, we went through a good, rigorous process this year, and we're pleased to support the dozens of groups that receive this modest funding, and pleased to do so.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Brennan. Speak up.
Sorry. Yeah, no, this was a difficult process this year, and I think it was a little too difficult for us. And then, as you know, Your Worship, and my fellow councillors from years before, it was more of not a political thing, and I think it got into that a little bit this year. So hopefully next year we can refine the criteria and that sort of thing, so we can just approve these things. I know there was a great interest this year, so but you know, I'm happy that there is great interest, and you know, next year I'm sure there will be again, but maybe we can refine the process a little bit more.
Thank you. Any further? It's moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Oh, sorry, third reading, please. I'm jumping ahead.
Again, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, a bylaw to authorize execution of funding agreements with recipients of the 2024 municipal grant funding be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10530-2024.
Thank you. It's moved by Councillor McKenna and seconded by Councillor Robinson. The bylaw to authorize execution of funding agreements with recipients of the 2024 municipal grant funding be now read a third time. Only passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10530-2024. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Any inquiries or announcements? Oh, Councillor Miller, you got an inquiry or announcement?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. No confirmatory bylaw. Motion for adjournment with Councillor Brennan.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that this council adjourn its proceedings at 5:24 and stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brennan, seconded by Councillor Robinson. That this council adjourns proceedings at 5:24 p.m. Stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
See you later.